Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Wings Podcast. This is your host, Milind Agnihotri. On today's show, we will meet Neha Kode, an architect and urban designer working in the field of urban design and development. Born in Satara and raised in Pune, Neha has had a fascination for nature, characteristics of which reflect in her designs for building sustainable cities. She has participated in international conferences and fellowships on sustainable urban development and energy efficiency. Neha was a professional gymnast during her schooling days and won a national gold medal at a very young age of 10 years, an achievement that has imbibed in her values such as courage, focus, and commitment. Welcome, Neha, to this episode of Wings Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Neha, how did you get introduced to the world of gymnastics?
I started gymnastics at the age of 3 or 4 years. A lot of people at that time also used to wonder why gymnastics. In 90s, it wasn't that a popular sports as well. So there is a funny story behind it. As a baby, I used to fall sick very often, especially I used to get a lot of cold. So my parents took me to our family doctor and asked him what can be done. He was a sports medicine doctor and he told us that enroll her to some sport. That way she will be fit and her immunity will also increase. Gymnastics hall was closest to us, and that's how I started going there. So what I will say here is, and later in my life, I never thought that I would be a national gold medalist. So what will I like to say here is opportunities always knock your door. It's you who must work for it and seize the day and give your 100%.
But winning a national gold medal in gymnastics would require intense training, long hours. How was that process for you?
Yes. The trainings were really intense. Like in holidays, like in the summer and Christmas holidays or Diwali holidays, I used to practice for 8 hours a day. So 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evening. During school times, it was 4 hours in the evening. So it was really very intense. And this sports also requires a lot of perfection. So if you're not perfect, you can get severely injured. So there is one incident which I vividly remember here.
Mm-hmm.
One fine day I went to the practice and my coach told me to do front and back walkers 100 times on a balancing beam. Now, for the people who don't know what balancing beam is, it's a 4-inch wide, 6 to 8 meters long beam and 3 feet in height. So I was told by my coach that if I fall off this beam while practicing or lose my balance, I must start it again from one. So I had to do 100 times the front and the back walkers. So this balancing beam requires a lot of balancing, focus, concentration, because it's very tiny. It's like 4-inch wide only. For rest of the 4 hours, I was only doing the same thing again and again. As I approached 90 repetitions, I was very tired, but still I had to continue because that's how the practice was there, that intense the practice was there. And I still remember while doing the last one, my legs were trembling as I was very, very tired. My heart was beating fast because somewhere I was super scared because if I fall now, I must start it again from one. But at last I did it and I landed on the beam perfectly fine. So when you repeatedly do the same thing, your body get used to that form. So in gymnastics, it's all about discipline, flexibility, balance, and strength. So I really feel you really grow when you are out of your comfort zone. So gymnastics was something which was way out of our comfort zone. Not even me, but even my family's out of family's comfort zone. So, but this was something which prepared me for life.
Wonderful. I mean,
So
I can only imagine how tough it would be to do this front and back walkovers for 100 times on a 4-inch balancing beam. And if you miss it, you start from all over one. So obviously, hats off to you for all the dedication and commitment. I mean, otherwise, gold medals, and that to the national gold medals, don't happen so easily for anybody.
yeah,
You then
I
you
would
yeah, go ahead.
I would also say here that even my parents' dedication was also at stake here, because every day, sending your kid to that gymnastic hall, uh, like bringing her back. I had a very strict diet also. I used to drink like half a liter of milk every day, 4 eggs. So it like our parents also give a lot of time, energy, and efforts also go in all these things. So I really want to thank them also.
Of course, of course. Salute to parents, because obviously gymnastics is one sport which, whether it is boys or girls, it starts very very early in life, and
Yes.
truly the parents who really stand up with their kids and help them through this difficult and in a very exciting phase in their life. So obviously, hats off to your parents too. But Neha, how was, while you were doing this, gymnastics on one side, uh, how was your academics? At school or college, during your graduation days.
Yeah, the academics was also really good. I actually never studied when I was doing gymnastics, because like after 4 hours of practice, you actually don't have any energy to do studies, or for that matter, sometimes I used to even skip dinners because there was no energy left to eat. So there were times like that. But still, like, because of gymnastics, you are so much focused. Any apparatus you take, there are 4 apparatus in gymnastic: balancing beam, vault, uneven bars, and floor. Any apparatus you take, you have to be extremely focused and have 100% concentration in what you do, because if you don't have that, then you can really get severely injured. So that helped me in my studies. So I used to read, or just sometimes, like, some days before the exam, I used to prepare for the exams and just give it, and I used to score like 90% or more. So but all thanks to gymnastics only, I will say.
Absolutely. So you did your bachelor's in architecture, right?
Yes,
And
I did my bachelor's in architecture from Srinagar College in
then
Pune.
you chose to do your master's in a very very master's in urban design in an extremely
Yes,
prestigious institution called the Center for Environmental Planning and Technology, CEPT University in Ahmedabad. Um,
yes, yes.
so how was your life over there in Ahmedabad in those 2 years? And what was, which year was that?
So SEP was from 2013 to 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the life in Ahmedabad is really nice. Ahmedabad as a city also is really vibrant, very lively. SEPT is also the same. It's very lively. People from all over India come and study there. It's one of the top 2 universities in India for post graduation in architecture and planning. Uh, so yeah, so in our batch there were 18 people for masters in urban design, and those 18 people were selected from all over the world, sorry, all over India. Yeah, and it was fun times. 2 years were the best time of my life. It was a very intense course. We used to work till like morning 6 o'clock, and again come to college at 8 o'clock and attend lectures. The submissions were too tight. Uh, but it was fun times. Like at night, even while doing submission, we used to uh, have those air pans, where those electric pans where you can have fries made. We used to play badminton, carom, and all while doing submissions. So we had fun times. We used to plan trips like in the evening. We used to plan trips for the next day. So very spontaneous trips. So a lot of fun, lot of hectic submissions. Uh, but yeah, it was one of the best times in my life.
And did you get to explore Ahmedabad city or places around Ahmedabad, because that place in India is very rich in history, especially in terms of architecture and design.
Yes, we explored Ahmedabad. We also explored some of the cities around, like we went to Udaipur, Mount Abu. Uh, there is a bird sanctuary near Ahmedabad, which is around 30 kilometers from Ahmedabad. I can't remember the name, but that is really a beautiful place. Uh, then we also went to Mandu. It also has a rich history. Uh, yeah, and all these trips were always very spontaneous, and it was fun.
So Neha, as an architect and as a urban design postgraduate, you would have had opportunities to participate in conferences on this subject, because this is something which is a subject which is very critical for people all over the world. So any experiences of any conferences that you attended, Indian or global conferences?
Yes. So after masters, I participated in a couple of conferences. One worth mentioning here is World Sustainable Energy Days. This was during my first job. So this is a young researchers conference where people below 30 years of age can only participate. So we were working on a project in my first job, which was uh, about Tarachan Hospital in Pune. So they had issues of high electricity bill and and water wastage. So what we did while working on this project, we also converted this project into a research paper and submitted it to this conference. So people from all over the world submit research papers in this conference. So we hardly expected that we could get selected. It was just for fun. So when I say we, this is with I had two other friends. So we were three of us who wrote this research paper. So as people from all over the world submit research paper in this conference, so we hardly expected that we could get selected. It was just for fun. And luckily, one fine day, we received a mail saying that we are selected for an oral presentation. This was in Linz, Austria. So this was our first international conference where we were going, and this conference was sponsored for all three of us.
Wow.
So that time, like, there were tears in our eyes when we read that mail, tears of joy. But because we never expected, like there were people who had done PhDs and all, and they used to submit their research papers, their articles and all. And so it was really a proud moment at that time.
But was it only all work and no play? I mean, as in, was it only experience of the conference, or did you manage to travel around Europe?
Yes. So this conference was in Austria, and then we did a mini Europe tour and visited Italy, Switzerland, Germany, along with Austria. So we ourselves planned this trip right from getting our visas done, booking the accommodations, and coming back to India. We also had a friend in Germany who joined us. He helped us in booking and planning an itinerary. So ours was this first job, so we were really tight on budget, and this was our first international trip too. So it was quite economical. So what we used to do to save on money, we used to take night train journeys. That's how we saved on accommodation cost. And then we used to roam around the next day. We used to stay in hostels wherever possible. These hostels also have self-cooking facility. So we used to cook food while traveling. And Europe has amazing transport connectivity. So everywhere we used to roam in trams, trains, metros, even if it's a city travel or a country travel. We used to always use public transport. Even there, actually, they have such good infrastructure for cyclists, that they have dedicated lanes that all over, most of the foreign countries have, but they also can take their cyclists through trams and trains, go to different location and again roam in those cities in cycles. So Europe really has great transport connectivity, a good infrastructure, public infrastructure. And you also get a visa which can take you to 26 or 27 countries. So that was also quite convenient for us.
Neha, this little narrative of yours reminds me of this very popular movie, Hindi movie of the 90s, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, DDLJ.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then there is this girl, Simran, who is from UK, and she and her friends travel around Europe, just as you said. So,
Mhm.
any fond memories of any particular country, any particular place that you went and you personally liked, and what is it that you liked about that place?
Okay. So maybe first I can tell you funny incidents, and
Mm-hmm.
then I can tell you a most favorite place of mine in the whole of the trip.
Yep.
The funny incidents goes like this. So I eat non-veg, and two of my other friends are pure vegetarian. So we used to usually prefer going in McDonald's or KFC, usually in McDonald's only. So one fine day we went there, and till now we were only on bread butter. So this is a very initial time in Austria. So we used to only eat bread butter for the initial times. And then we went to McDonald's hoping that we'll get a vegetarian burger. So
Mm-hmm.
we asked them for a vegetarian burger, and then that person said, okay, we have a cheeseburger. So at that time, we used to think cheeseburger is like they will have veggies and maybe they will have cheese in it.
Mm-hmm.
But so we got our burgers, and then my friend had a bite, and it had a tikki also inside it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she found it a little weird. So she asked me to eat it, and I found it that there is a meat in that burger. So
Uh,
later when I had a word with my, so then obviously they both didn't eat it. uh, so when I had a word with my brother, then he told me that cheeseburger is actually a beef burger.
yes.
So so that was a very funny story which really happened in initial days of our journey.
Uh-huh.
But these are very small experiences. You learn a lot when you travel. And traveling also sets you for life. You talk with so many people, you see so many places, you deal with so many, you have to take a lot of decisions also on the spot. So it really helps you in life going forward. And about the second place which I really like in Europe is Vienna. And the old part of the city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site also. So this is a very beautiful city. It has very old architecture, uh, and the vibe of the city is also very refreshing. And you can walk in all these European cities for hours and hours, and you don't get tired because the climate is so good, it's so friendly, uh, that you enjoy the city, the environment. Even you have shops around you which keeps you engaged by going about the city.
You talked about Vienna being the old Vienna city being a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I
Yes.
think you also earned a fellowship on some UNESCO project. right?
Yes, yes.
So what was
So
that?
this is Sahapedia UNESCO Fellowship. So I was a project fellow in it. So this was a paid fellowship where I was researching on rich biodiversity of Kars Plateau and understanding the tourism impact on this biodiversity after its enrollment in UNESCO Natural Heritage Site.
Mm-hmm.
So Kars Plateau is 100 kilometers, 25 kilometers from Satara, around 125 kilometers from Pune.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes into the Western Ghats. So Kars Plateau is home to numerous endangered species which grow on minimal soil cover and has a short lifespan. So basically, my role in this fellowship was to document the rich biodiversity, understand the tourism impacts, and recommending the strategies for its conservation. So, Kars is a very beautiful sight to watch from the month of July to September, because that is a time when the flowers bloom, and these are very delicate flowers. The whole plateau is covered with different colored flowers, and it looks like a blanket.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Neha, you are a girl from Satara who was
Mhm.
raised and you grew up in Pune city. You went to do your masters at CEPT University in Ahmedabad. Then,
Mhm.
for a brief moment, you worked in Mumbai city too, right?
Yes,
And now work has taken you to Bangalore.
yes.
So why don't you walk us through your work life and your stay in Mumbai city, and then maybe we can talk about Bangalore and how life in Bangalore is unfolding for you.
Okay. So yeah, so after my masters for 2 years, I was working in Pune, and after that, I went to Mumbai. I was working there for 3 years. I was working in WSP and Jacobs. These are MNC which works in large scale developments. I was staying in Bandra. But initially Mumbai was very tough for me. Initial 6 months was very tough. I would say Mumbai is not everyone's piece of cake.
Yep.
um, yeah, and being from Pune, it's very fast paced. Is the scale wise also the city is really very big as compared to Pune. So even as compared to Ahmedabad also, before Mumbai I was in Ahmedabad. So but as Pune, Ahmedabad is of same scale, I will say, but Mumbai is too big, and everything operates with the with local times. I mean local train times. So it's very fast. So and initial 6 months were very tough, but later on, uh, as I got settled into my accommodation, so initial 6 months were tough because I was not getting proper accommodation. But later, when I got settled, it was fun. I had tremendous growth in Mumbai. The work life is also very fast, but you also get to learn a lot of things in a very short period of time.
And how is Bangalore? What where do you work there? What kind of work you do there, and what else do you do in Bangalore other than the work that you do?
Yes. So for me, Bangalore has been superb because Bangalore is a city which has work opportunities like Mumbai, but the climate and the life like Pune, or a little better than Pune also. It's a cosmopolitan city. So you have a lot of exposure to a lot of different things. So like Bangalore has a very good exposure to sports and fitness. And as I come from a background of sports, it really helped me in Bangalore to get settled down faster. So in Bangalore, I work in Khatim and Alami. So I'm working as urban designer. Here also I work on master planning project, large scale development projects. So work-wise, my profile has been same throughout till now. Uh, And so talking about sports and fitness in Bangalore, it really has a lot of exposure. So I have a really good fitness routine here, where for 3 days I do strength and training. Strength training. 2 days I go for running. One day I play a sport, and one day is a rest day. Bangalore has cult. So like if you know about the cult gym,
Yes.
it has cult at every corner, and it's a really good gym. You have group sessions, and the group energy is really good for you getting motivated also. So what I just have to do, I have to get up and go to cult. The rest of the thing is routine in the sense that there are trainers, there are people around you, and your workout is done. Even the running part of it, I do with the cult trainers only, and they have really good structured workouts. And the sports which I was talking about, so there is a group called Sisters in Sweat. So this is a women community. It's run by the women and for the women, and they take sports every day in a week, different sports. So on Saturday, they take football. So this is
Hmm.
very new for me.
Oh,
And
wow.
I have started playing football. It's a little
Wow.
off track,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Any sports you play, you know that 1 hour is really refreshing, because there is only, you have to focus, concentrate. You are in that moment at that time. Other times, you would be thinking of the past, or you would be thinking of what to do next. And you but in sports, you are perfectly in that moment, and you really enjoy playing any sport. It also requires a lot of reflexes. In a fraction of second, you have to calculate where I want to hit the ball, what distance I have to hit, how I have to tackle the defender, and a lot of calculation you do in a fraction of second. And that only happens if you are only in that moment. So yeah, it's too much fun. I also did a tournament that was on 31st of July.
Mm-hmm.
It was also fun. So these Sisters in Sweat have different teams at different locations. So they coach different sports. Okay, so Saturday morning they coach at Indira Nagar. Maybe Wednesday morning they will do in some other part of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And they also do swimming, basketball, running also is there, rugby also is there. There are 5 6 sports. Badminton is there. So I really feel workouts are the powerhouse of energy. Okay, it will help you be energetic throughout the day. You will so a lot of people feel workouts are tiring, but actually they are not. They help you better concentrate. You focus on everything better. You fight your stress better. You feel more confident. You feel good about yourself. You feel young at heart. And I have also observed that you start attracting better things in life too. So yeah, so in Bangalore has been really a very smooth transition for me. And I would say it's all thanks to this sports and fitness exposure. And also the weather in Bangalore is amazing.
So, Neha, as you look back on your life, what are the few defining or standout moments you see?
Um, so I would say the defining moments in my life. So one, the life in gymnastics. Those were the golden days of my life. Uh, then the life in SEPT. This was something which prepared me for my career, for my future. Uh, and then all these small experiences which come to your way, like few conferences, few international trips. All these small experiences teach a lot about life, and you get prepared for life through these experiences. So yeah, these are some few moments uh, which are the defining moments in my life.
And as you look at these defining moments, what do you feel?
I feel very happy. Uh, and all these experiences, so there are a lot of ups and downs in your life, and all these experiences make you stronger, um and more wiser. So yeah, life is a roller coaster ride, so
Yeah.
just go with it, just flow with it.
Yeah. कभी ऊपर कभी नीचे और फिर से ऊपर.
Yes,
So wonderful,
yes,
Neha. This has
right.
been such a beautiful conversation. Thank you very much for your time. And
Yes,
you have a great life ahead. Thank you very much.
yes, thank you for having me here. It was nice talking to you.
Same here. Bye bye. Take care.
Yes, bye.
Thank you for your time today, my dear listeners. This is your host, Milind Agnihotri, signing off. Goodbye. Take care and stay safe. This podcast is for general information purposes only and should not be considered as a piece of any professional advice. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of its guest. Creators of this podcast expressly disclaim any and all liability or responsibility for any direct or indirect, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of this podcast. For feedback and suggestions, please write to wingsindia75 at gmail.com. Thank you.